The Tomb of Moloch. Within the walls the dust lay thick, layered heavy from centuries past. Inside the solid but crumbling brick, where many souls would breathe their last. Jack held a torch to guide his way along this dark and dreaded path. He wished he had the light of day, for in his head he heard a mocking laugh. Within its coffin it lay awake, a concrete slab above its head. Inside Jack's coat he held a stake that would free it from the living dead. Slowly Jack unlocked the tomb, then nervously drew back the gate. Like a voice it gave a scream of doom, and closed behind to seal his fate. Onwards Jack walked, below the flickering flame, which cast dancing shadows upon the ground. From behind he heard his whispered name. Forcing himself, he turned around. There it stood, the evil one, eyes blood red, skin pearl white, a beast that would blister in the sun, or burn to ash in the searing light. Jack removed his stake from inside his coat, tearing a pocket in his haste. Moloch saw his terror and began to gloat, and licked its lips for that blood-filled taste. Nervously Jack raised his stake, as across the crypt it began to glide. Jack stood his ground, but began to shake, for here was a beast that had never died. Moloch screamed a blood-curdling scream, and became a shadow in the dark. Jack swirled around in his nightmare dream, searching for a place to find his mark. With the stake as his only defense, into a corner Jack backed away. The darkness now was thick and dense, and he could only hope and pray. Because Jack's torch had been blown out, and beads of sweat formed upon his face, Jack's heart was filled with a terrible doubt that he would never leave this place. Under the glow of a luminous moon, which cast black shrouds over pillars of stone, outside the walls of the crumbling tomb that hid in the dark the decay of the bone, it was like the dead were holding their breath within the grave some 6 foot under, and as they waited still in death, the gate of the tomb was rent asunder. Then from the dust of centuries old, a black-cloaked figure stepped from the gloom. Moloch's skin was rigid, so icy and cold. Its face, so pale, formed a mask of doom. There grew no hair upon its head, no lashes fluttered above its eyes. Moloch's jagged teeth were dripping red, blood taken from Jack near his demise. In the vaults the rats scuttled by, while the spiders spun another web. Jack lay in a coma but did not die, even though from wounds his life did ebb. With heavy breath he dragged in stale air, but the stagnant taste was the last he knew, for Moloch had returned to its lair, as once more the vampire's hunger grew.